Most gardens are designed to fail, you just don't notice it until the season ends. It's not because people don't try hard enough or pick the wrong crops, it's because the entire system is built to produce for a few months and then stop. You plant in spring, you harvest in summer, and by fall everything slows down, the beds go empty, and the garden becomes dead space for half the year. That feels normal, but it's not. There are communities in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana that have been feeding entire families from backyard gardens for over 300 years without grocery stores, without greenhouses, and without modern systems. And their gardens don't stop. They produce in waves, they overlap seasons, and they carry food forward. What they figured out, and what most modern gardeners miss, is that a productive garden is not built around a season. It is built around a cycle. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how that system works, why it produces so much more than a typical backyard setup, and how you can apply the same method even in a small space. And stay to the end, because the final layer of this system is what turns a 4-month garden into a 12-month food supply without adding more space. The first principle is polyculture, and this is where Amish gardens immediately look different. Most modern gardens are organized like spreadsheets: one row of tomatoes, one row of peppers, one row of beans, everything separated and clean. But every gap between those rows is lost production. If your garden is planted in clean, separated rows, a significant portion of your space is not actually producing anything. Amish gardens layer crops instead of separating them. Tall crops go in the back, like corn or pole beans on trellises. Medium crops like tomatoes, peppers, and cabbage fill the middle. Low crops like lettuce, herbs, and radishes spread across the front and edges. And ground-level crops like squash or sweet potatoes fill in underneath, covering exposed soil and suppressing weeds naturally. Multiple crops share the same space at the same time, each using a different vertical layer. This does 3 things at once. It maximizes output because there is no wasted space between single crop rows. It reduces pest pressure because insects navigating by scent cannot easily locate a single crop when it is surrounded by competing signals from other plants. And it improves soil structure over time because different root systems working at different depths create channels that improve drainage and aeration while accessing different nutrient layers. The Three Sisters system, corn, beans, and squash grown together, is the most well-known version of this. The corn provides structure for beans to climb. The beans fix nitrogen that feeds the corn. The squash shades the soil and suppresses weeds. Each plant supports the others. But Amish gardens go further than that. They layer 5 or 6 crops together and stagger planting dates so that as one crop finishes, another is already growing to take over the space. Nothing sits empty. Nothing waits. Once you see this approach in practice, you realize most gardens do not underperform because they are too small, and they underperform because they are too separated. The second principle is succession planting across the full calendar, and this is where most modern gardens completely break down. Most people plant everything in one weekend in May, and that single decision creates the entire problem. Because if everything goes in at the same time, everything matures at the same time, and everything finishes at the same time. That creates a short window of heavy production followed by months where nothing is happening. Amish gardens are planted in waves instead. Cool season crops go in first: lettuce, spinach, peas, radishes, kale, carrots, beets, and cabbage, often as early as late February or March, depending on the region. These crops tolerate frost and cold soil, and they produce food while most gardens are still bare dirt. As those early crops begin to finish and bolt in late spring, warm season crops are already going into the same spaces: tomatoes, peppers, beans, corn, squash, cucumbers. There is no gap between the spring harvest ending and the summer planting beginning because the timing overlaps. The warm season crops produce through summer and into early fall. But the system does not stop there. In late summer, while tomatoes and peppers are still producing, fall crops are already being sown into any space that opens up: more lettuce, more spinach, more radishes, more kale, turnips, and late-season beets. These crops grow through autumn, and many of them survive light frost, extending the harvest well into November or even December in some zones. Instead of one growing season, you get 3 overlapping cycles from the same beds. I started using this overlapping wave approach 3 seasons ago, and the difference was immediate. My garden went from producing food for about 4 months to producing for 7 or 8 months without adding any additional space. The only thing that changed was timing, when crops went in and how quickly empty space was replanted. The Amish method doesn't eliminate seasons, it removes the empty space between them. And then comes the part most people skip entirely: preservation. Amish gardens are not designed just for fresh eating. They are designed to carry food forward into the months when nothing grows. When an Amish family plants 50 tomato plants instead of 5, it is because 45 of those plants are producing for canned sauce, salsa, and stewed tomatoes that will feed the family through January and February. When they plant 100 feet of green beans, most of those beans are going into pressure-canned jars that line the cellar shelves for winter. Crops like potatoes, sweet potatoes, winter squash, onions, garlic, carrots, beets, and cabbage are all selected specifically because they store for months without any processing at all. A root cellar or even a cool, dark closet can hold potatoes and squash from October through March. Cabbage ferments into sauerkraut that lasts all winter. Carrots and beets store in damp sand for months. Onions and garlic hang in a dry space and stay usable well into spring. This is how the system extends beyond the growing season. The garden produces from March through November. Preservation bridges December through February. Together they create 12 months of food from a backyard plot. You do not need a farmhouse or a massive root cellar to apply this. Even a small chest freezer, a few dozen canning jars, and a cool corner of a garage can store enough preserved food to meaningfully reduce your grocery dependence through winter. The key is planning for it before the season starts. Deciding in February which crops will be eaten fresh and which will be grown in larger quantities specifically for storage. The final principle is what turns this from a productive garden into a true year-round system, and it is the one I promised at the beginning: perennial infrastructure. Annual crops reset every year. You plant them, they grow, and they die. But Amish homesteads always include a permanent layer of food production that requires no replanting and produces year after year with minimal maintenance. Fruit trees like apple, pear, plum, and cherry take a few years to establish but then produce hundreds of pounds of fruit annually for decades. Berry bushes like blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and currants produce within a year or two of planting and come back stronger each season. Perennial herbs like rosemary, thyme, oregano, sage, and chives survive winter and are ready to harvest in early spring before any annual crop is even planted. Asparagus produces for 20 years or more from a single planting. Rhubarb comes back every spring without any attention at all. Even a small yard can fit 2 or 3 fruit trees, a row of berry bushes along a fence, and a patch of perennial herbs near the kitchen door. This perennial layer does something critical that annual gardens cannot. It fills the transition gaps. Fresh berries arrive in June before summer tomatoes are ripe. Apples come in October after the main garden has wound down. Herbs are available in March while you are still waiting for the soil to warm enough to plant annuals. I added a small perennial section to my garden 2 years ago: 3 blueberry bushes, a row of raspberries along the back fence, and a patch of herbs by the entry. The first full year they produced, I realized they were filling exactly the gaps that my annual garden could not cover. The system went from 7 or 8 months of production to genuinely approaching year-round food availability. That is what Amish families have understood for 3 centuries. The annual garden is the engine, perennial infrastructure is the frame, preservation is the bridge. Together they create a system where food is always available, and always in season and always coming from your own land. You do not need 200 acres to build this. You need a plan, a single raised bed with annuals, a few berry bushes along the fence, a couple of fruit trees, and a shelf of canned tomatoes will put you closer to year-round food production than most people imagine possible. When you stop thinking about gardening as a seasonal hobby and start thinking about it as a system that feeds you, everything changes. The garden stops being something you do for a few months and becomes something that supports you all year.